Greetings and well met. Yes, I guess you weren't expecting another video so soon, but here I am showing off 3 of my favorite knives from my knife collection. Mostly because a gentleman online whose channel I follow, Gus, this is for you, wanted to see the leather sheaths that I had made for my kukri knives. Well, for 2 of them. So I might as well show you all 3. So let's start with the first one. This is called the Kukri Cowboy. Has a 15-inch long blade made out of 5160 high carbon spring steel. And a lot of people say it's too heavy. Well, I have to feel sorry for them if they think it's too heavy. They probably never lifted an axe in their life. Has a very nice rosewood handle, but I have covered it with some very nice shrink fit grip tape, which is used for fishing poles. So now I have an extremely good grip. The sheath is your standard sheath that it comes with, but being as how big it is, I adapted it with a frog and D-rings, and I have a shoulder strap that I carry it with. I've carried this to several Scottish festivals and always had a lot of people go, "Wow, that's huge." And I even took it to a restaurant called Nepal's in Estes Park, Colorado, and they kind of went bug nuts over it. They all had to look at it, including the old Gurkha who was working as the cook. He came out. He asked if he could see it. Well, he had to translate through the head waiter. And he was very impressed at how clean and how sharp. Yes, this is sharp. Is it heavy? No. Have I ever used it for anything? Not yet. And it does come with the two little tools, which really are kind of stupidly small for a knife this large. So I've owned this since about 2015, I think. Yeah. Okay. Then about a year and a half ago, I decided I needed, last summer, I decided I needed a smaller, more useful kukri. So I got this one. Now this has a 12-inch blade, and it was called the Jungle Black. And the reason why is part of the blade was painted black, and I didn't really like that, so I polished it off. I'm in the process of finishing the polishing job, and then I might blue up the blade. It does not have the traditional notch, and it doesn't come with the 2 little tools. Now again, I have tried this on my belt. It was a little heavy, so I made a new frog for it, and then I made an adapter so I can carry it on my belt. Now for that knife, I am working on a leather sheath. This is the first incarnation, and it's good, but it's not good enough. So eventually, when I get more leather, I am going to redesign it. It does, however, go in quite nicely, and it stays in. And then I put a dangler on it. So this is a good working blade. I would take this camping any day of the year. For chopping and splitting wood, yeah, very useful. And of all the knives I own, my kukris are the only ones that I would chop and split wood with, because that's what they were designed for. So again, you can look at the leather sheath next to the kukri, next to the traditional sheath. So There's nothing really wrong with the traditional sheath, but the blade does stick a little bit. Other than that, it's a decent sheath. Okay, put these away. And finally, I have my newest addition to my Khukuris, and that is what's called the Mini Jungle Plus. This is from Kukri House of Thermal. Well, actually the other two are too, so all three of them. Has a full tang handle, which unfortunately you can't see because I have covered it with grip tape. It has a 6-inch long blade, which is very nice for working. I have tried chopping with this, and yes, it chops very nicely, and this part of the blade is very sharp, so that's where you would do your feather sticking and stuff like that. Now, when you chop with it, you want to use this part of the blade, because that's where all your power is, right there. Right there. And that will give you, now some people say they don't like it, but with that, yeah, the original wood handle, rosewood, is very slippery, but you add this shrink fit grip tape, which is meant for fishing pole handles, so it does not get slippery when wet. With the addition of that, it really is a very nice feel, and it has this half guard like my Jungle Black does. As you can see, the Jungle Black has the half guard, and I've also put on the shrink fit tubing. Oh, something else I forgot to mention about the Jungle Black is it has this protrusion of the tang, so you can put a lanyard hole, or if I had to take this into combat, somebody got too close, I could pop them in the head with that. I think if I pulled this on somebody, they might run. So you can see the contrast between the two. Now, I made a leather sheath for the little guy, and this one came out a lot better. It fits very nice. I made a strap with Velcro to hold it in place, and I use what's called a molly lock, which is a small version of the Tech Lock as a belt loop. This allows me to take it on and off my belt without taking my belt off. And as it stated, it also works with molly gear. But I've also added a large S-beaner from a company called Night Eyes, which allows me to clip it onto any belt loop on my pants or, you know, anything on my pack. So very useful. And the knife fits, except for the strap, very nicely. Now, generally you don't need a strap because it will hold, but there's too much movement. So I decided to put in a retention strap. Now, this is just the first generation. Who knows? I might make a new one. Now, here is the traditional sheath, wood and leather. I changed out the frog because the original frog was just too flimsy. Put the molly lock on, and the knife does fit. Yes, this is a knife. This is what I call a knife. Does fit nicely in here, but one problem. Right here, there's no wood underneath that leather, so it's conceivable that I could cut that if I ever had to put it in fast. So I've got your standard belt loop, and I've got a molly lock, so I can attach this quite easily anywhere I need it, and it's got very good retention. Now, I have coated this with mineral oil to keep it waterproofed, as I have with the full leather one. So, yeah, don't be afraid. You know, if you want a leather sheath, they can be made. I won't say easily because you have the problem of that curve. So you have to make this part of the sheath extra wide so that the whole knife fits in and then can turn and go down. So that's why this leather sheath that I've made has such a big opening on the mouth. So that's it for now. Oh, and I did put a dangler. And again, this is just my first attempt. I will be probably making another one. Anyways, that's it for now. Hope you enjoy the video. And if you're a knife collector, I sympathize with you. All right, that's it. I'm out. Talk to you later.